That's today.
Hi, and welcome, everybody. It's Friday, January 15th. It's time for another edition of the Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. I'm Ross Benjamin, as always, co-hosted by Chip Chirimbes, my buddy out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Chipper, we've been down for a while. A little bit of surgery here on my part. Took me a little longer to recover than I expected, but we're back.
It's great. It's great to see you. I missed you this past week. I just didn't know what to do with myself.
Anyway, we're going to be talking about Saturday's Saturday's divisional round matchups between the LA Rams and the Green Bay Packers, and Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. And real intriguing matchups for sure. That Baltimore-Buffalo game looks like a dandy, Chip. But yes, before we get to that, how are you doing lately?
Well, so kind of you to ask. Not only have I won 12 of my last 16 Megabuck releases, which are my single strongest best bets in the NFL, I'm coming off a 5-1 weekend, both sides and totals. I posted side and totals on all 6 playoff games on Saturday and Sunday and went 5-1 each way. So wow. I'm feeling really great about that. You know, my NBA has been really, really steady the whole season. Yesterday I had 1 game, 1 winner. And each and every day at chipwins.com, Ross, I'm posting usually a trio of games or 1 single best bet for each sport. So I already have the NFL up for Saturday right now, and we're rearing to go for college basketball. Tomorrow's ready as well.
Very good. Chip, as always, always is on fire in some sport. Anyway, there's never one that's left out. Anyway, Chipper, I had a 10-star top play yesterday in college basketball. Cashed in with Utah State, easy winner over San Diego State. Also cashed with USC -14, a huge winner over the worst team in the Pac-12, which it escapes me right now. Worst team in the Pac-12. Chip, help me out. That would be the Washington Huskies.
I don't even know what conference the Big 12 is.
The Washington Huskies.
Oh, Washington. Yeah, they are terrible.
Yeah, boy, oh boy. I can't depend on you for any trivia.
Yeah, well, leave me out of that. But is San Diego State down this year? Are they bad?
No, I mean, they started strong. I mean, they beat UCLA in their season opener by 15.
That's right. But I know I had to play against them as well. That's why I'm trying to think now. Maybe they're not as good as they've been in the past. They've won the WAC, 2-3 years in a row.
Yeah,
they won that conference.
So. But no, I don't think by looking at them last night, since I watched the game, my eye test tells me that is true, Chip. I don't think they're the powerhouse in the Mountain West that they've been in past years, and even on the national level, more importantly. That was a team on any given day can go in and beat anybody in the country. I'm not so sure that.
I'm sorry. Well, I was going to say, what about the powerhouse in the NFL this weekend?
The powerhouse up there? My powerhouse in the NFL this weekend. Anyway, I was going to say, Chip, my college basketball 10-star top plays, 58 and 37 with my last 95. That's 61%. But as we both been told recently, 60% is not that good.
No, 80% is good. 80% is good.
Boy, oh boy. Believe that, and I got a bridge I could sell you somewhere near Brooklyn.
Over 4 the first day I started monitoring the guy that's 80%.
There you go. All right, the LA Rams and Green Bay Packers, Chip. Open Green Bay at 7-46, and right now the Packers are down to 6.5 and 45.5. We know Jared Goff's going to start. We know Wolford is not available, so he's not going to come in to rescue today.
Right.
So you're stuck with Goff, and the Rams are going to lean heavily on the running game. We know that, and the Rams defense, they're going to lean heavily on them as well. Now, whether they can get enough pressure on Aaron Rodgers, I think they will.
Well,
I think that Jalen Ramsey could hold his own against Davante Adams. I'm almost having a small lean toward the underdog and the under in this game.
Well, what about that big pass rusher, Aaron Donald? Is that his name? He left last week. Is he healthy enough?
They said he's going to play. He's going to play. Yeah. I don't know how effective he's going to be, but him at 75% Chipper is better than a lot of guys at 100.
Yeah, for sure. And the other guy was questionable, and the staff, McVay says definitely going to play as Jared Goff. And I know, I was hoping for the backup was not even going to be in uniform. So there's some other factors, and these two meetings. These are old NFL rivals. Though the Rams have lost the last 6 meetings against the points to Green Bay, and Green Bay, as favorites against them, has gone 9-1 in the last 10 meetings. They really dominated the rivalry, if there is such a thing between these two. Because, but the Rams, they're very sneaky. They're 21-7 against the NFC. They're outstanding on the road. I think they have an outrageous record on the road. But their defense is what is paying the bills. Let's face it. They're number one in overall defense. They're number one against the pass. And where's Green Bay? They got the number 1 total offense, and I think they're 4th in passing with Rodgers, because they've got a better balanced team than people realize. Ross, they've got a fairly decent running game in Green Bay, which they don't ever seem to get credit for.
Yeah,
they're 6-2 in the playoffs in their last 8. But I think defense is the way to go here. I see this game. The Rams having to dictate the tempo. They're going to have to dictate the tempo.
They can't win a shootout. That's for sure.
Right. And so they're going to look to control the ball, and somewhat that will actually make the Packers be a little bit more conservative as well, because it's like in poker. One guy's playing loose, you play tight. And one guy's playing tight, you play loose. So I don't know what's going to happen here, but I think it maybe could go under. I think the public is going to be a little enamored with Green Bay. 13-3 overall. They're number 1 seed. And
Chipper, let's face it. The Rams aren't a team when you watch them that dazzles you.
Doesn't impress you.
They're not sexy. Right now their ingredients, compared to 2 years ago when they were a dynamic offense with Jared Goff. Right now it's a run first offense, and there's a little bit of distrust now for Jared Goff because of his inconsistencies, Chip.
Yes.
So, and that defense is really good for the Rams.
I'm sorry. One of their major problems has been the turnovers, 25 turnovers. And Green Bay leads the NFL with only 7. So that's a major advantage here. If Goff doesn't, I think he's accounted for 16 interceptions and 2 fumble losses as well. So unless he can protect the ball here, it might be a long afternoon for the Rams. And, if this game was to go over, it probably could go over with Green Bay scoring 35 and 40 and the other side only scoring 10 or whatever. But it's hard to see the Green Bay coming up with points. And we said that LA coming up with points. We said that last week. We played the over, and there was 50 points in the game. So I can't wait to see these two on the field. And the contrast of styles here, Ross, that's going to be what we're going to have to see. Which strong point of which team is going to be more dominant.
Yeah, I did go over. It was my 10-star top play as well last week on the Rams game. But I'm probably going to go the opposite way here, Chipper. I just think the Rams to stay in this game, as you alluded to, they can't win a shootout. They got to run the ball, and they got to rely heavily on their defense. And, Green Bay's running game, you're right. Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, you could do a lot worse than them as a 1-2 punch in a running game. So any more thoughts before we move on to the next game?
No, let's go. I can't wait for them to kick off right there on that one. But it's going to be an interesting tale, because I think it's going to be the wise guys against the general public in here. I think
the Rams are the wise guy pick, I would say, and the Packers are going to be heavily bet by the public. So that's the way I see it as well, Chipper. Brilliant minds think alike, although many would contest that from both of us. Baltimore at Buffalo. Now this one has the looks of what might be the game of the weekend, Chip. Buffalo.
What a great matchup.
And they're down to 2.5, and the total is 49.5. I keep hearing from everybody on the NFL Network and all these interviews, how's Buffalo going to stop the running game in Lamar Jackson? Well, to me, that's a legitimate concern. It's a concern of mine. I'm a Western New York native and a longtime Buffalo Bill fan. My question to you is, how is Baltimore going to stop Josh Allen in that Buffalo passing game? And they've yet to face wide receivers, a wide receiving core, I should say, that's this deep.
Well, the storyline that I've been hearing all week from ESPN and I guess other media outlets is how effective Allen is against the blitz and against the rush. And I think he led the NFL in touchdown passes under pressure. And like we've said, and we've discussed it all year long, I know you're blinded. It's tough for you to be objective, but this kid has really matured at that position. And I told you that I was impressed just his body language, the way he handles himself out there, that he knows he can do it. He knows they can win. Now, you said this running game with the Ravens, 136, 200, they're averaging, what would we say, 265?
2.5 yards per game over the last 6.
And 260 yards a game.
On the ground.
Honestly, the quarterback, what's his name, Lamar Jackson, he ran for 137. We forget that the rest of the team also ran for 100 yards. This Dobbins out of Ohio State's a really good back. Yeah. And I think that Baltimore is going to look to control the ball and let their defense try and contain Allen. I don't know how much they can do that. And I see this game as being a slow down, lower scoring game. Baltimore, number 1 in rushing. And, of course, number 32 last in passing, 171 yards passing. We've talked about how these one-dimensional clubs, how if you're able to shut them down in one side of the game, they're lost. And but this Dobbins, I think, has added a new dimension to the Ravens running game.
I agree, really Chip. Yeah, he's a rookie out of Ohio State.
Yeah.
He's now their feature back. Let's not forget Gus Edwards, the backup. He's also ran for 700 yards. So it's not a one-horse pony for them. So anyway,
well, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud here. You mentioned the disparity, number 1 with the run and number 32 with the pass offensively for the Ravens. And that goes hand in hand to what I've mentioned several times in my concern with Baltimore. And it hasn't been of late because, well, they did get down 10-0. I'm talking about when you get down 10 points in the second half of a game, how is Lamar Jackson going to respond? How is the Baltimore offense going to respond? If you can get them behind the sticks, whoever gets the lead in this game, Chip, and that's a hard thing to predict, right?
Yeah, I mean,
although some people will tell you they're the best first quarter bettors that ever lived.
Yeah,
which again we scoff at that. But by any event, getting the lead is going to be important.
The styles of the two teams would probably dictate that, and I think the Ravens, like you said, are probably in greater need of keeping it close or having the lead as opposed to falling behind. They were able to come back against Tennessee. There was just something about that game. Yeah. I was on the right side there, and even when I was down 10-0, I was waiting for something to happen, and it did. And Jackson ran like a running back, like the running back he is. And, let me comment about this game, about say the total between these two, because I guess people are going to anticipate Josh Allen throwing the ball, and weather conditions are unknown right now. But do you know how many games the Buffalo Bills have played in January?
Not many.
No. And in the last 20 games that Baltimore Ravens have played in January, 18 have gone under the total, Ross.
Yeah, well.
So when they're in the playoffs and they're down like this, that's what they're going to do. So I think this game may stay under the total as well.
I actually attended last year's game in Buffalo between the Ravens and the Bills that finished 24-17. And that should have been a lot lower scoring game because neither team hit the 300-yard barrier. And Buffalo actually did the best job all season that anybody did on Lamar Jackson, keeping him in check. He only ran 11 times for 40 yards. He only threw for 139. Unfortunately for Buffalo, 3 of those passes were for touchdowns. So,
the Buffalo defense, it's right in Midland there. It's, I think, 17th against the rush and 13th overall. But, that's where the rankings are right between that 13, 14, 15 ranking. And I checked because you had mentioned about you thought they were vulnerable to the run.
They are. And
I think they were 17th in the NFL. But, teams have a habit of shoring up their weaknesses in situations like this. And they make adjustments. And I expect their rushing defense to be a little bit better than is anticipated, or it actually has been so far.
They have been susceptible to the run. I think the 17th ranking is a little askew, Chip. And let me tell you why. You know, down the stretch, they won 9 of their last 10. And the only loss was that Hail Mary pass by Murray. So my point is, a lot of those wins were blowouts. And teams would have to abandon their running game by the second half. So I don't think they're a true number 17 against the run, Chip. But we'll see. I mean, they did a great job last year. The difference is Buffalo's defensive tackles last year were much better than they are this year. They have good defensive tackles in terms of applying a pass rush from the inside, but they're undersized. And that's where they get exposed.
And their quarterbacks must improve, though.
Yeah, that's the difference. I mean, they sacked Josh Allen 6 times last year. And you think
that happens? I don't think that happens again.
No, and he blitzed them the whole game. So anyway, all right, Chipper, those are the 2 games for Saturday. Certainly 2 that we're looking forward to. I know that. We will have our picks up for these games. Yours at chipwins.com. I'm at rbwins.com. Looking forward to a big weekend in the NFL. Chipper, how about a free play?
Well, I would play this game under, the one between the Ravens and the Bills. I don't think the Ravens want to get into a shooting match there. And plus the fact, if you have any kind of adverse weather, it's got to affect the total somewhat, being in Buffalo.
So right now the weather forecast, Chip, is I believe for 28 degrees, and there's a 25% chance of precipitation. They're expecting maybe an inch of snow.
Well,
so I mean, for that
thought of that,
just
the thought of that, I think I'm going to go to Miami and watch it from there.
And the other part to that equation is living in Western New York. Weather conditions change rapidly here. So
off the water, of course.
You just never know. So anyway, my free pick, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. I think that this is their year. I really do. I know, and especially I know you're a proponent of this. That's all I keep hearing is Baltimore, Baltimore, Baltimore all week long. And I love that, and you're looking at virtually a pick'em game. This is a Bills team that's 8-1 at home last year. And if you look at the comparison, Chip, this is basically the same Baltimore team they faced last year, with the exception of J.K. Dobbins. And Buffalo, to me, is a much improved offense. No doubt about it, much improved offensive team. Josh Allen leaps head and shoulders better than he was last year. And Stephon Diggs wasn't there last year. This guy's caught 135 balls. So
I'll tell you, we got one thing working for you. 10 of the 11 newsletters that I have monitored have the Ravens. So I think, when it's that heavy on one side or another, I'm always looking to play the devil's advocate. So I think you may have the right side here.
What are you saying? Stop beating around the bush. What are you saying?
I'm saying that I haven't pulled the trigger on this game yet, and you may have the right side.
Now that you got everybody teased. All right. My free pick is on Buffalo -2.5. Chipper likes Baltimore and Buffalo under 49.5. Remember, folks, our websites, chipwins.com, rbwins.com. You can find our best selections there on a daily basis. You can get our subscription plans. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We deeply appreciate you doing so. And give us a like at the end of the video, folks. We would deeply appreciate that as well. Until tomorrow, for Ross, Benjamin, and Chip Chirimbes, I'd like to wish each and every one of you all the best of luck and good luck.